Welcome to Jedala Fashion Guide. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a knife pleat like the one on the dress. The amount of fabric that you need for that style to make the pleat is 3 yards. 3 yards of fabric. However, if you want to make yours into a knee-length dress, you will not need the full 3 yards. You will need 1.5 yards. Then you can now cut it into 2 and join to extend up to the 3 yards. Now, yards come in. There are some fabric that they come. A yard is 36 inches, but sometimes we do not have the full 36 inches. If you have the full 36 inches, 36 multiplied by 3, it means that you are going to have a total width of 108 inches. And then if it is the one that comes with 35 multiplied by 3, you are going to be having 105 inches wide of fabric. Now, having known the amount of fabric that you have, the next thing is to divide that by the waist measurements of your client or of the dress or of the outfit that you are making to know how wide the pleat should be. So the total width of the fabric divided by the waist measurement will tell you how much you need to pleat. So for this illustration class, the total width of our fabric is 48 inches. 48 inches. And the waist measurement we are working with is 14. We are working with a waist measurement of 14. 48 divided by 14 is 3.42. So that means our pleat can be 3 inches. We can pleat 3 inches. Now, in pleating this 3 inches, remember that when you are pleating, you are going to be folding in to form a pleat. So that means the 3 inches, by the time you fold it in, you are going to be having 1.5 or 1.5 inches. So that means for this tutorial, the pleat is going to be 1.5 inches wide. And then you will not begin the pleat at the very edge of the fabric. You will leave out some allowance, okay? Because if it is a dress, you need the allowance for your zipper. So you will leave out some allowance before you start pleating. Now, for your own practice, you can practice yours on pattern paper or with a fabric. You may not necessarily use 108 when you are practicing, okay, so that you'll be able to mark it out and use it to learn. But you know, it could be cumbersome to start marking a fabric length of 108. So once you've already known that it's 3 inches that you need for each pleat, which is 1.5 inches wide, you just be using your tape measure to mark that out. This is what I mean. If it's your pattern paper, you can mark out, let's say you're using so let's say I'm using 2 inches allowance. 2 inches allowance. Then on your pattern paper, you cannot begin to mark out 3 inches. You cannot begin to mark out 3 inches. So that means each pleat will be 3 inches because you're going to be folding it in like this. You fold it such that you have look at it, 1.5. So this is one pleat, and you know that they are not going to be standing like this. They're going to be, so after you have gotten where it is, you just place it down. That means it will stop midway of the other 3 inches that you have marked. Let me mark it so that you know where it's going to be in between. It's going to end here. So you can actually mark 1.5, 1.5, 1.5 all through. Okay, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5 all through. Because that is the wideness that we need. So for this illustration, I'll show you both ways you can do. But you know that it will be cumbersome to start marking on a length, on a width of 108. So this is one method to know it. You just mark it. You pick the mid, you pinch the middle of the first 3 inches that you have marked. This is 3 inches. You pinch the middle and let this mark correspond to this mark. This first mark, let it correspond to the third mark. Let it correspond. And then let it rest on the next 1.5 like this. So the marking serves as a guide. So for this class, you can just follow the mark because it serves as a guide. Then you take your pin to hold it in place. So we have formed the first plate. So to form the second plate, we will not be pinching here. This is now the beginning. 1, 2, 3. So we are making use of 1, 2, 3, 4. So the second one after your first split. If you are counting 1, you take this. You take it to match the fourth one. Like this. So you have formed the next plate. I hope this is clear. You can also measure to see that you are correct. You see that this is 1.5. This is also so this is 1.5 and this is also 1.5. So one thing about the knife pleat is that they are the same. They are even. You don't find one pleat bigger than the other. No, they have the same wideness. That is the essence of this marking. So let's use this to illustrate again. We have 1, we have 2, 3, 4. You pick the second and place it on the fourth one. You see that you have formed another plate. You see that? So let's do it again. That is, the wideness is 1.5 inches. 1.5, 1.5. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick the second and place it on the fourth, like this. You see that? You're already forming the plate. Let's repeat again. You have 1.5. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick the second and put it on the fourth. Because we've already done our marking, you see it's easy. You see that? already 4 minutes. So assuming you don't have time to start doing all markings along, you don't have to do your marking from the beginning to the end. You can just mark as you are going. You just mark 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. You have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You pick the second and you place it on that mark. You see that? So if you don't want to use that marking method, you can actually use a tape method. The tape, you place it there where it is going to start. You see, you have 1.5, 1.5. From there, you just pinch it. Make sure that the back ends at where this one begins from. And you put it down. You can use your tape to be double sure there is 1.5. Now use your tape to check 1.5 and put your pin. You need the next one. You fold and check if you have enough. You can use your eye gauge. By the time you have done 1 or 2, your eye gauge will be getting it. So use your tape to check where it is. From there you just fold. Then we double sure. On the half. So that is how to use your tape directly if you do not want to start marking. So let's see what we have. So you see, but this is the allowance for the zipper. We started from here. We already have 12.5. So you just add 1 more. So let's check if we have gotten to our waistline. You see that we have 14 inches. That is our waist. So this is for the zipper allowance, and this is also for the zipper allowance. You see, very easy to form knife fit. So after you have gotten it like this, before you start sewing, before you add it to your outfit to start sewing, you just take it to the ironing table. Take it to the ironing table and press it down. Just press this beginning part. Just use your hot iron to press it so that they can be in place. Just press it with your iron. Then you can now go and sew the waistline, adding it to the fabric. So that is just how to form a knife plait. You see it? You see how beautiful it is. So we have come to the end of this tutorials. I hope you find it helpful. Please support my channel by subscribing if you've not subscribed to this channel. And for those of you who are returning subscribers, thank you very, very much for your support. And I hope to see you again in my next video. Thank you. Bye for now.